Hello, this is Sarah V, and today I am going to be making another jumper dress. And I lied. I was going to take a break from Plaid, but then the last couple days got away from me, and I didn't start a different project, so I'm just gonna do another Plaid project. I'm going to be using this. It's like a cotton flannel, and I am going to be using Hollywood 1196. And I don't even have the pattern. It's still at my parents' house, and all I have with me is the copy that I traced out whenever I was in college. So I have like 3 yards of the fabric. But then I washed it and it shrank a little bit, so I have a little bit less than 3 yards. I would like to make the view of it where it has the little ruffles, because I've made this pattern 3 times before and none of them have the ruffles, and I don't want just like another of those. They're fine. It's just that I want to do something different. Although, if I am able to do the ruffles, it's probably going to be like, it might not be on the bias like they're supposed to be. They'll probably just be on straight of grain or something, which would be fine because they're gathered, so it's not like it's going to match anyway, you know. Scooter and I are beginning this project after a quick press by just cutting everything out. We have already estimated whether or not we can make this pattern with this 3 yards of fabric. I was going to try to get this video out sooner this week, but then that did not happen, and then I was going to try to get it out last night, and that did not happen, so I guess this is what I'm left with. I am beginning by just doing up the back seam for the skirt. Now I am doing the shoulder seams, but I had to do them individually because I had to insert the ruffle between the panels. And now I am doing the shoulder seams for the side front and side back pieces. Moving on to the ruffle, I am stitching it 1/4 of an inch away from the edge, and then I am making a French seam. And now I am making the ties. Now I am doing the hems for the ruffle. After I hemmed the ruffles, I put gathering stitches into them and gathered them up into the shoulder princess seams. Now I am just sandwiching everything together and sewing the waistband onto the front. There is only a front waistband, there is no back waistband, odd enough. So, it's about 20 minutes till midnight. I was hoping to finish this up tonight. My new microphone came in the mail. I wanted to see how that would do with the voiceovers, but that's not going to happen tonight. I'm going to go to bed soon, but I got most of this done, the top that is. But since I squeezed out the ruffles, I do not have enough room to do the bias along the top, so I think I am going to cut a facing out of some kind of fabric. I haven't decided. I'm going to have to rummage and figure out what's going on with that. And I also needed to find a lining anyway, because I didn't have enough to do the inside of the pocket because I did the outside on the bias. But whenever I was in college, I was like, oh, I'll do facings instead of bias. So I'd already made the facing pieces off of the pattern. So I do not have to worry about that. And I also, when I was cutting things out, I just got rid of the button placket in the back because there's a jog, and that jog was the devil whenever I did it at college, whenever I batch sewed like 3 of them. And just going to put a zipper down the back and it will be good to go. I'm happy I did the ruffle even though I had to piece together part of it. It's this side. But since I matched the plaid, you can't even tell that it was pieced. And I also had to piece one of the ties for the back. But other than that, I was able to squeeze it out. Also, for whatever reason, when I graded the pattern up in college, like the bodice part, I didn't do it to the front inset waistband. There. So like it was too short for this, but I didn't have enough to cut another of the outside out, so I just redid the inside because I had some like longish strips. So I just kind of stretched it because it's on the bias, and hopefully whenever I wash it, it doesn't do anything horrible. Now before bed, I must rummage like a little rat in my piles. Not really looking forward to that, because then I have to put it back. After I rummaged around for some fabric for my facings and the lining for my pocket, I cut everything out, and now I am just able to sew my pocket together finally. I can now sew my pocket onto my front skirt panel. Now that that is complete, I can put the gathering stitches in so that I can gather it into the bodice. Here I am sewing the shoulder seams for my facings. I am now sewing the armhole facings on. I do not know what happened to the footage of me sewing the neck facing on. After the facings have been put on, I can now just do all my understitching for the neck along with both armholes. Everything is now gathered into the bodice, and I am just able to zip that through the machine. The side seams are still not done up. They will be done up last on my machine before I can get to the hem. I am now edge stitching the seam allowance for the skirt and the bodice into place in the back so that it stays in place. To make my life easier, I have inserted my zipper before doing up the side seams. And I am just doing another lapped zipper, starting with the side that laps under and then moving on to the side that laps over. A couple of stitches later on the inside of the waistband, and I will be able to sew up the side seams and give it a little hem. Overall, I think this turned out pretty alright. I'm pretty happy with it. It isn't my favorite that I've made so far. It definitely is cute, but more like a September cute. But I am going to have to let it out a bit so I can wear sweaters under it comfortably, because there's not sweater space for this, unfortunately. But I think a plaid turned out really cute. And my zipper turned out really cute too. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, and if you'd like to see more fall sewing, please subscribe. If you would like to see what I'm up to day with my sewing, feel free to follow me on Instagram at SarahVSewsVintage. Thank you again for watching, and see you next time.